Alright guys, now we're coming into our next portion, which is our talents and glyphs. First thing you're definitely going to want is War Academy. It's 3 out of 3, increasing the damage of your Mortal Strike, and Victory Rush and Slam by 15%. Those are the only abilities that actually apply to arms. This is where some people like to mess with it. You can either do Field Dressing, which increases all healing received by, I believe it's 6%, and the effectiveness of your self-heal by an additional 20%. Or you can go with Blitz, which is what I chose. Your charge generates 10 additional rage and stuns an additional 2 by targets. That's not exactly why I chose it. It's mainly for the rage. Some people used to do Tactical Mastery. However, now that Stance Dancing is not required in PvE, you can take Second Wind, you can take 2 points of Drums of War, but you need Deep Wounds, you need Impale. For good AoE damage, you need Sweeping Strikes. You're going to need Taste for Blood. This increases your overpower a critical strike chance by 60%, and every time your rend ticks, it will give you a 100% chance of allowing the use of overpower. The next thing you want is Improved Slam, as I will cover in the rotation its significance later. You want 2 in Blood Frenzy, 1 in Deadly Calm, 1 in Juggernaut. This is vital. 2 in Sudden Death, 3 in Lambs to the Slaughter, 2 in Wrecking Crew. You don't have to, but you can put 1 point in Throwdown. It is a stun and can help with some situational ad problems or something like that in a raid. Last but not least, our beautiful Blade Storm, which unlocks your next 2 tiers of talents. I put 3 of 3 in Battle Trance, 2 of 2 in Cruelty. Now here's what some people differentiate. A lot of people choose Executioner, 1 in Rude Interruption, 2 in Insight. However, I don't know if I like that a whole lot. I mean, it's definitely good, don't get me wrong. But I like Booming Voice, because I can constantly use Battle Shout throughout my encounter, and it is a great source of rage rebuild. So if you find yourself weaning low on aggro, or not aggro, rage, you just pop this, and it also causes you to generate 10 additional rage on top of, like, I think it's like the 30 it gives you. So if you Heroic Leap out, charge, and Battle Shout, you're almost to a full rage pool. Very helpful. The 2 in Insight increases the critical strike chance for your Heroic Strike by 10% and gives your Heroic Strike criticals a 66% chance to also cause the next Heroic Strike to be a critical strike. Some tips that you can do is an add-on called Power Auras. You can actually get something that as soon as you get your Insight buff, it will produce whatever icon you choose. It's basically like a raid warning, or I don't know how to describe it, but it'll produce this little icon of your choosing on your screen, and then you'll know, okay, I can use a Heroic Strike here. Alright, that is about it for this talents. As you can see, mine may wean a little differently. Those are about the main talents you would want to have in arms. I can't really see a whole lot that would be changed in our arms tree. This is where you can kind of, in your Fury and Protection tree, you can kind of juggle your talents a little bit and play with it and see what you like. Next we'll move over to Glyphs. Glyphs, you're going to want Glyph of Slam, and increases the critical strike's chance of Slam by 5%. You're going to want Glyph of Mortal Strike, increases the damage of your Mortal Strike by 10%. And you're going to want Glyph of Overpower as your prime glyphs, increasing the damage of your Overpower by 10%. Basic, kind of just, you know, no-brainers. Now here's where I kind of separate myself from arms warriors most of the time. I use Glyph of Heroic Throw. When you Heroic Throw, it applies a stack of Sunder armor on the target. Following that, in counterpart, your Colossus Smash refreshes the duration of Sunder armor stacks on a target. What it doesn't say is it also builds one. So you can build Sunder armor on your target up to 3 stacks, reducing armor by 12% throughout the entire fight, as Colossus Smash is used on cooldown and is very widely used in your arms talent, or in your arms rotation, why wouldn't you have it? I mean, 12% armor reduction throughout the whole fight seems pretty good. I feel like that's kind of a good way to negate the fact that our Mortal Strike got nerfed a little bit. The next one for my majors is Glyph of Sweeping Strikes. It reduces the rage cost of Sweeping Strikes by 100%. So no longer will you have Sweeping Strikes issues as far as rage is concerned. The 3 minors, you can do whatever you want. It's preferential. I use Glyph of Berserker Rage. When you use Berserker Rage, it generates 5 rage. Battle Shout increases the duration by 2 minutes and the area of effect by 50%. And Enduring Victory, which increases the window of opportunity in which you can use Victory Rush by 5 seconds. So, without further ado, let's get to everyone has wanted to see. I don't want to use that one, we got somebody on this, so let's use this one. So I'm going to open up with a Battle Shout, Heroic Throw, Charge. Always remember to stand behind your target. As you can see, we built that Sunder armor up. So this is how your rotation is going to want to work. You're going to want to go Colossal Smash on cooldown after you've applied your Rend. Once you've applied your Rend, your Mortal Strike will refresh it. When this comes up, it basically gives you, it resets the cooldown on your Colossus Smash. So you're going to want to go Rend, Colossus Smash, Mortal Strike, Slam if there is nothing else to use, and then Overpower. Overpower when Taste for Blood procs. If you're above, I would say 70% rage, use a Heroic Strike. As you can see, my rage got kind of low there, so I'll pop a Battle Shout, and it will allow me to build up my rage a little bit more. As you see here, we're beating on this dummy. As you can see, I have 3 stacks of Sunder armor on my target, and it's getting kind of low. It was just refreshed on top of the Colossus Smash, bypassing 100% of my enemy's armor. Great thing to have. I'm a little slacking here. This DPS isn't full potential due to the fact that I'm trying to keep it a little bit slower so you guys can see what I'm doing, see what I'm using, and how I'm using it situationally. Of course, your DPS is going to be rendered differently in certain encounters. Things like Atramedes, where you're constantly moving, especially as a melee DPS, it may be a little tough for you to get that full potential DPS. So basically, you're just going to try to have to go with what you got. So right here, we're going to pop these 2 cooldowns here. I got a Golden Blood Potion. And after this, as I was saying earlier in my video, we'll pop Deadly Calm. See how that does it. I'll also pop Life Bloom. It gives me some haste. I mainly got that for my Single-Minded Fury off-spec. So now we'll pop Deadly Calm. We no longer reduce rage. Deadly Calm is used a lot of the times in what we call the Execute phase. The Execute phase is when the boss is below, I think it's 25% health, allowing us to basically beat on his face, and what we use is a lot of Execute. A lot of warriors pop Deadly Calm at this phase because they usually just spam Heroic Strike and Execute, and then Colossal Smash on cooldown, bypassing 100% of the armor with your Sunder armor stacks. You will notice your DPS increase in tenfold. It is ridiculous. You see I used a Mortal Strike there at the wrong time, and notice my rage is now a little bit low. You'll want to watch that. And I'm going to go over something really quick that I feel like a lot of videos have actually not covered. 2 things. We are going to go over AoE. That is not what I was talking about. I'm sure there are some videos that have covered that. So as you can see, really quickly before we move on, we are pulling 14.5 almost steady. On a dummy, self-buffed, with no raid food or anything like that, no flasks. That's pretty solid. I'd have to say, especially with the nerf we got, I was pulling about 16 on this target. In raids, full raid buff, you'll probably with this be pulling close to 20, 21. But again, it's all situational, so just remember that. Another thing, let's say you're moving. We'll get some movement here. Let's move this out of the way. So we'll get some movement. You may pop in just to refresh your oh gosh, what am I trying to, your Sunder Armor. But this is a great time. If there's a movement phase where you are not going to be in range to DPS and you have to stay away from the boss, this guy right here, Shattering Throw, right before that phase is about to end, what it does is that it reduces the armor by 20%. It's a beautiful thing. You see our Thunder Armor fell off? It allows that for your whole raid. It's a big DPS boost for all your raid, especially if you have a lot of melee DPS. It's a very good thing. Rogues love it. Shamans love it. No other warriors love it. It may drop your DPS a little bit, but it's a nice thing to go to the raid. Come on. Manners first, kids. Alright. So now that we've taken care of that, we will reset this. Let's move over here to these guys. Alright, so we got a full rage pool. And if it is safe to do, and you know you won't be taking damage, I would pop Recklessness. Because it grants special attacks an additional 50% chance to crit. Holy crap. That's amazing. But since that's not the case and it's on cooldown, let's say that this is very aggro-dumpy for those ads. You give your tanks about a good 5 seconds to gain full aggro on the mob. Once they do, you pop Sweeping Strikes first. Run in, Blade Storm. Your Sweeping Strikes will also adjust. Now, of course, this is on a single target because I can't manage to get those other 3. But 9k on one single target. Now, if you multiply that by, what, 6? Maybe there's 6 mobs? Yeah, you've got a lot of DPS. It is a very effective AoE. However, some argue that Fury may possibly be a better AoE spec because they can constantly cleave and Whirlwind, whereas we have cooldown on Blade Storm and Sweeping Strikes. However, I think that both are about equally matched. The last thing I'm going to touch on before I end this video is simply 2 things that I want to note. These guys right here. Enraged Regeneration and Rallying Cry. If you see your raid start to get and you're noticing, ooh man, we're about at 30%, pop this. It grants you and all party your raid members within 30 yards 20% of maximum health. Try to get back into the bulk of them and blow that. I've saved a couple raids with it, I will say. Also, if you find yourself low on health, maybe you pulled an off mob from a tank, 2 simple things. Pop that. Pop that. It will heal the crap out of you. This is your oh shit button. If you are like, oh god, throw down your target, if applicable, stunning it for 5 seconds. Berserker Rage. I have Life Bloom, so it gives me a little heal. And Rage Regeneration. Back off, and your tank will pick it back up, and you will save your healers a lot of trouble. I want to thank you guys for watching this. This has been my Arms Warrior Guide for 4.2. Stay tuned. I think I'm going to make an updated 4.2 Enhancement Shaman Guide. And I want to thank you all for watching. Comment, rate, and subscribe.